So it's the Sunday after my embryo transfer. It's been 2 days, and I've started noticing some symptoms that I'm trying not to read into, but it's starting to, as I'm reading about them, it's starting to be hard not to. So just as a little bit of a background, the embryo that we transferred is one of the few that I have that are euploid and reasonably good quality, meaning that they have a pretty good chance of making a baby. I think the embryo we used probably had somewhere in the range of a 50-60% live birth rate, which is pretty average for euploid embryos. And yet I didn't want to get my hopes up before, so I just kept telling myself it might take a couple embryos to have a baby, so don't get your hopes up, but that it'll happen this time. It might take 1 or 2 more transfers more before we get there, but I'm confident we're gonna get there. And so then yesterday there was the odd twinge in my uterus that I felt, but I was nah, that's nothing. My uterus was poked and prodded yesterday. It's probably just reacting to that. That's probably why it's feeling a little bit funny. And then today I woke up and I realized that I had a really low grade fever. And I started thinking about am I sick? What could it be? And then I remembered that I used to track my fertility using the fertility awareness method. It uses your body temperature and a few other symptoms to tell when you're ovulating, and you can kind of use that information either to get pregnant or to not get pregnant, which is what I was doing. Anyway, so then I was thinking about that whole charting thing and how your temperature will rise after you ovulate. And then I was curious if your temperature is also supposed to rise when you get pregnant. And I was just reading about it, and it's supposed to. Obviously, I haven't been tracking my temperature. But the interesting thing is that, I was talking to a friend who happens to be a nurse at a different fertility clinic than the one that I go to. And, so progesterone, I've been taking these shots. Remember I showed you I injected my butt with something called progesterone in oil. And so I started that a week ago. And the amount of medication I'm taking remains the same every day. So I was thinking either that my increased temperature today is either because I'm getting sick, or which is totally possible, or it's because Bib is implanting. And then tonight I've just been sitting here and I'm noticing my uterus is twitching, and way more aggressively than it was yesterday. And apparently that's a sign of the embryo implanting. Because it can make the uterus contract as it's implanting. So yeah, it's kind of wild that this might actually be happening. It's such a surreal experience to essentially be lying on a table and then looking at a screen at this image of an embryo, your little baby that they're about to put up inside you. It's so surreal. And then to think that like right now, whether or not this baby takes, right now I have a little life inside me. It's so crazy. We're so lucky. Anyway, wish me luck that things continue to go well. I did decide that I'm going to take some pregnancy tests before my clinic does their beta. So I bought some tests last night. I think it's too soon to test, but I'm thinking in the next couple days might try. I bought the first response ones, I think they're called. Oh my god, so I was researching pregnancy tests yesterday as I was trying to figure out if I was or wasn't going to test. And I discovered that there's like different varieties of pregnancy tests. Some are more sensitive than others, and the first response brand has like the most sensitive tests. They can test, I think it was like 6.3 I think it's MIU, like the unit of HCG, whereas like the second most sensitive test claims a sensitivity of 10, and then like the standard one is like 25. And so just for reference, the average HCG level in a woman who has like conceived is it's around 5, like a couple days after the embryo like implants. So yeah, so I'm thinking that in a couple more days I'll have a good idea if these symptoms that I'm experiencing mean anything. It's kind of crazy. Wow. Okay. Have a good night.